Hello?
Let's talk with Blessing.
Hi guys, let's talk fear. Yeah, today we are talking fear. It sounds like my voice is a bit low, or is it just my mind playing tricks on me? Well, guys, let's talk fear, right? Every human being on this earth has experienced fear at least once in their life. No matter how fearless you claim to be, there must have been something that made you fear at a point in time, and you probably overcame it, and you suddenly deemed yourself fearless. Sit down. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, let's talk fear. We've all experienced fear, and we know what fear is like, what it can do to you, how fear fear actually I'm about to speak like what I don't know, and I was about to say what I don't know. Actually, I was about to say fear feeds off our emotions, and then I was like, excuse you, fear is sort of an emotion. What are you talking about? But you get the whole gist, you get the point, right? When you're afraid of something, it brings up so many things in you that you don't even know how to overcome the fear. I mean, it's always sometimes so easy to overcome that fear, but because you're afraid at that point in time, and you have nobody else trying to, encourage you out of that fear. I was about to say freedness, but let's keep going, right? We tend to, exhaust ourselves emotionally in a way, right? That's what fear does to you. Yeah, fear exhausts you. It's not a lie. Like, you don't even get to feel any other thing that is not associated to fear. That's bad. Personally, for me, if you'd ask me, well, there is a reason for all the fear notes in the Bible. Obviously, like, I believe, or rather I heard, there are like 300 and something fear notes in the Bible for each day. You have a fear note for each day. That's to show you that even the creator of the universe knows that more fear gas day or body. And moreover, what you're supposed to do, I don't understand when you say you're fearless, because I mean, don't you fear God? Don't you? Well, if you don't, I would advise you to do so. If you don't want to take my advice, thumbs up to you, my dear. Ha ha ha. Anyways, there's a reason for all those fear notes in the Bible, because they are for they are there for you to use, like, as a guide. Is that right? What am I saying? No, like, guys, get me. Right? Fear not, saying fear, is there. Fear not. It gets thrown in your face. Fear not. Why should you fear not? Because there is someone else holding you by the hand. You might not see them physically. They might be spiritual holding of hands. And I'm not talking about evil spirits, by the way. No. I am talking about supposed guardian angels. You get? Fear not, because you're not just entirely looking out for yourself by yourself. There is a being looking out for you, and that is what those fear nots are for. While you think you are all alone, you were so scared, what are you going to do? You tend to forget that you actually have someone in the form of, your maker, holding you by the hand and saying, fear not. Like I said, fear cancels out other emotions. Fear just brings everything that is associated with fear: anxiety, paranoia, all those bull. You get? And what you're supposed to actually feel, you can't feel it in the presence of fear. So once you acknowledge that there's a superior being taking you by the hand and telling you to fear not, you begin to have a certain type of peace. And most people find this maybe when they meditate or they pray or they sing, they start to get some kind of peace in them, and the fear starts to dissipate. Oh, I want to speak good English. What's wrong with me, guys? It's like I'm afraid, right? I'm for real right now. I don't know. I feel some kind of fear in me, and I don't even know why I'm afraid. Maybe that's why I came up with the topic, because don't mind me, guys. Right? I've not been laughing as I usually do. What's going on? So, guys, another thing. Will I say another thing? But fear is now so modernized. There are so many different forms of fear. There's a CS album a CS album that's 1,000 forms of fear. Are there actually 1,000 forms of fear? It's like I'll be writing this topic and be doing research on them. Okay, are there really 1,000 forms of fear? But that's by the way, though. I enjoyed that song in the album. Can I even remember anyone from that album? Is House on Fire from that album? Is it? I don't think. I've forgotten. Anyways, because I mean, I'm a house on fire. Whatever, guys. So there are so many types of fear these days. Claustrophobia, Philadelphia. I'm joking, guys. Well, you get it. You get the point I'm trying to make. I cannot name all of them. I won't deceive myself, my dears. So there are there are different types of fear. Fear of heights, fear of animals, fear of human beings, fear of words, fear of noises, fear of laughter, fear of vehicles. I get it. I understand. Fear of I think I've called fear of heights. Yeah, fear of I've seen some pretty ridiculous ones, and it's not ridiculous because actually people are going through those things, but it's ridiculous in the sense that why is this a thing? But people are built differently, and which is why the need to name different types of fear came into play. I think there's this guy on TikTok who talked about things that we are named and imagining who named them. Like, you're naming things that people fear, but what you named it's close to what they fear, right? Like dyslexia. Am I right? I think there was some other ones he mentioned, and I get it. Like lips too, as well. Like I have a problem with pronouncing that. So why is it the name of my ailment? Not me, in Jesus' name, but the person. No, but there's just some fears that are just so ridiculous that you couldn't see yourself having them. But it does not make anybody experiencing anything at any particular point in time. Yeah, that everyone is wired differently, and just because you are wired in a way that seems more normal does not mean that there are not other people who experience other different things. You get? And now there are so many modernized forms of all these fears, like so many, like you get to see new fears every day. You get to see new names of things, and you begin to wonder what is actually going on, right? There are things that are really beyond you, things you do not know, that you'd have to actually research or just come across somebody that has had an experience for you to know that, oh, there are really things that people fear or that people, that happen to people that you do not know, you are not aware of, and probably you'll never be aware of if you did not come across that person, across that post, or maybe try to do a research, or you ventured into a field that has to do with things like that. Yeah, and like I said before, the only necessary fear you'd actually need as a person, a human being, is actually the fear of God. Yeah, because I mean, if you're not fearing Him, there are plenty, there's plenty evidence to prove, and I'm not just talking about. I'm saying God in general. In general. You get it? It's not about arguing about religion. No, this is not religion anything. This is just in general. In general. If you look at different faiths and their believers, you don't play with their faith. You have to reverence it. That is why it is a faith. That is why it is more superior than you are. So you have to reverence that so far as you are associated with that. You don't just treat it because you're an atheist, you don't believe in anything. I'm telling you, you better believe in something. You better believe in God. Anyways, guys, so right, the essence of fearing God, right, is you don't get to feel afraid in other things because you're already afraid of one person, God. If you are afraid of Him, He should be the only one you're afraid of. And because not afraid of in the sense that you can't come to Him, no, fear, that is, you reverence Him, you submit to this one, supposedly, and He helps you through all those trivial fears. That's just the essence. That's why people have faith. That's why they have beliefs. That's why they have who or what they worship, because these are put in place to help them, guide them through those fears. Fears were the all these fears were the basis for creating gods per se in the olden days. Because when you're afraid that you won't give birth, you're afraid you will lose the war, you get to set up something you could believe in that would help you out, and that is the basis of this all this. It was fear. It was basically fear of a certain event. So because you want that event to not actually happen, you turn to this supposed superior being that you have created or was created or is in existence, anyone, to guide you or to help you. So that simply just lets you know that fear God, right? Fear God, and watch all your worries and fears dissipate. I've said it again. Am I right? Well, fear has a way of ruining us, right? Because you're so afraid, you lose out on the things you should be gaining. Because you're afraid, you tend to go the way you're not supposed to go. Because you're afraid, you don't speak up and you die in silence. Because you're afraid, you can't stand for what you want and what you can have and what you are supposed to have. Because you're afraid, because you're so filled with fear of a certain thing, you tend to be hindered. Like you can, okay, for instance, right? Okay, okay. Well, let's just say fear hinders you a whole lot. Fear hinders your progress because you're so afraid you can't progress anywhere. It stops you from making, certain decisions very vital for your life, those, important decisions. Fear is also a very huge stumbling block, very, very huge stumbling block. You also have to know that. And, I want you to, think to yourself, have you ever sat back and ask yourself, why am I afraid of this certain thing? Like, am I the first to do this? Like, if no, why don't I research on a way to move forward in this aspect? Why kill yourself? Why get so hooked up on fear? Why really just bring down yourself, make yourself so afraid, restrict yourself, cut yourself off for progress just because you were afraid of a certain doom that you do not even know about? That's just fear. That's a fear in general. Being scared of something out there, right? So fear is a huge stumbling block to a lot of things we should be doing, we should have done, things that would have helped us out, right? And we bring in fear, and fear ruins the entire package, and that's so restrictive and bad. And since you know that there are other people who have done something like this, why are you still shaking in fear? It's understandable. We are humans. We are prone to fear. And sometimes it's not very easy to get over that fear. But I would tell you one thing. Breathe in, breathe out, and do your very best. That is just all you can do. And you'd see that there was no reason for you to be afraid in the first instance, that you were just, gaslighting yourself, or just, you just realize that, oh, I should not have been this annoyed. Afraid. I should not have been afraid. I should have just moved forward and done this thing. And you get to realize that you just messed up. And fear was rubbish. You get? I hope we all learn that, right? And, personally, it would be bad of me to just end this without giving like a story or something like that. It's very minor, but it's actually a thing, because my elder sister is so afraid of water. You can't even pay her $1 billion for her to go close to. Like, when I mean water, I mean like large, a large pool of water, like a swimming pool, a river, an ocean, a lake, even, right? Drinking water, bathing water is enough for her, right? So, you can't even pay her $1 billion to just stay at 3 feet of a swimming pool. I'm telling you the honest truth. The day she will do it, hallelujah. But for now, you can't. You can't pay her well enough to do that. Well, so, right, and personally, I have a fear of things I have not done for the first time. And sometimes, even if I've done it for the first time, I still get to be afraid even for the second one, right? And so, my friend and I, we went swimming some time back. It's been some years. Yeah, it's been some years, like 3 years at most, I think. My friends and I, a friend and I think Haman and some other guy, Haman's friend. Yeah, Haman's friend. And we were just I told her let's go to swim, and they came with, and she was like, I should hang on the back of a floater and let's go round the pool. Where we were, the pool was starting from, I think, 4 feet, and it went all the way to 18 feet, right? And I was like, oh, baby girl, I'm struggling to move in 4 feet. And you said I should hold on. I should hold on to the back of your floater and follow you around. Are you mad? My life? My life is precious. To you want to endanger my life? But, I stayed back. She was like, why am I being afraid? Yeah. And so the next one, I got a floater for myself. And I was like, okay. I would follow you, and I would hang on to the sides of the pool, and we would go around. And the current was so heavy, was pushing me. I was like, imagine if I held on to the back of your this thing. I'm barely hanging on for dear life. This one I'm the person that is holding the float. To the float. So, like, what is going to, make you imagine that I would have survived that? Fear would have made me leave it, because fear almost actually made me sink when I was holding a floater, my dear. Because I, put my hand and I was going, and the current was so heavy towards that side. You get, that's why it's a deep place. And my leg was not reaching anywhere. So I'm not even like more. I just hold on tight. But by the time I had gone round 1 or 2 times, it was a simple thing. I was not afraid. Even I removed my hands from the rail and allowed the water to carry me, and I still found my way back to the railing and still, move. And I was like, what was the fear for? You get, what was I afraid of? Because this is what I'm doing right now. I'm literally moving around the water and like nothing. So what was it all for? And that's life for you. Once you do, okay, there's another one. I had to tell my parents something, and I was telling my other sister, I don't know if I should let them know, and she was all like, see, she's had an experience. Once you do it, it's just, you don't even need to worry yourself. And she was right. At the end of the day, everybody was all like, oh, that's my problem. It's okay. It didn't go entirely smoothly like that. But at the end of the day, I wondered, why didn't I speak up sooner? You get, fear comes in different forms, and the sooner we learn to realize that we are not the only ones going through this, and that we can actually not be afraid and try our best. And even if we fail trying, at least we know we did our very best, and then we can now confirm for sure that at least this is not, you shouldn't have done this. But take a step forward first and see a change. Alright guys, it's been a nice time talking to you, and I hope you have an awesome time. Stay safe, fear God, and live a wonderful life free of unnecessary fear. Bye guys, see you later. Love y'all.